It's our last day at the beach. Are you sad?
But
Yeah.
I'm also happy that we did it.
Yeah. It's come full circle. 1 month living in Gulf Shores, Alabama. I'm definitely gonna miss being able to walk 5 minutes to all this.
Yeah.
That was anticlimactic.
We got this.
Hey guys, Bella here. I'm here with Daniel, my boyfriend, to talk about our month of staying at the beach. We have been in Gulf Shores, Alabama for 4 weeks at this point, staying in an Airbnb right across the street from the beach. And we came down here, I guess, with the intent of deciding whether or not we want to move here and just kind of like an exploration, I guess. And so it's been an interesting couple of weeks just seeing like what it's like to live down here. And we want to cover some of that in this video.
Yeah, personally, I had a couple of goals coming down here. One, wanted to have a vacation. And so, if you look at our first week in Gulf Shores video, our first week we were completely on vacation. I was off work, she was off work, and we just did vacation things. But we also had a second goal, which was to kind of find out what's it like to stay at the beach for more than just a couple of days, because neither of us have ever really done that in our lives. So Gulf Shores, as a town, has a population of a little under 17,000. And it's one of those things where it's a tourist town, right? And so there's not a lot of people who live here all the time, but there's a revolving door sort of people coming and going. And even in just the 1 month that we've been here, we've seen so many new faces in this area that we're in. To that point, that Gulf Shores is kind of a tourist town, right?
Yeah, I don't think very many people live here permanently. I think it's just like mostly vacation rentals. Some older people who have came here to retire.
Yeah. And
then Foley is a growing population type of town. They've had like 10% growth over the last 2 years, I think. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, in terms of like living here, it is kind of out of the bounds of what normal people would probably seek out to do.
Yeah.
And people kind of acted like we were crazy when we were like, we're going to go to the beach. And they're like, oh, have fun. And we're like, for a month.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? Like, what are you guys doing? Like, are you like going there for work? And so it's kind of interesting to explain to them that we were doing a try it before you buy it type of experiment. Off season is so much better.
Yes.
Like we've came down here during the off season for the most part, and we can see a major difference in how crowded the beach is, how crowded like Walmarts and restaurants are, and even just something simple like trying to find your spot on the beach gets more difficult as it gets into the warmer months because there's just so many people coming out with families and stuff. So I'd much prefer being down here during the off season.
Me too. So what would you say is your favorite memory that we've had of this entire trip?
Oh my gosh. I feel like for me, it was the wildlife, the nature stuff that we saw, all the sharks,
yes,
the sea turtle, some of the...
sea turtle was so cool.
Yeah, it was cool. And then also just being able to have access to the ocean permanently for like a month was awesome. But I think my favorite memory is just getting to just hang out, just chill and, not have a lot of pressure to be anywhere at any certain time or to fit it all in, because I feel like on a lot of our vacations we just feel like pressured to do everything all day, and it's like we get so tired by the end of the vacation that we need a vacation from the vacation. Right. So it's been nice to kind of be able to take it at our own pace.
I gotta agree. I think if I have to say the most maybe standout memory that I have is the skydive that I did, because that was such an intense experience. But ultimately, I think my favorite experience was just being down on the beach with you, kind of just sitting there in a chair, relaxing, maybe had a couple drinks. And it just, the freedom from the stress. We went to the beach a little bit earlier today, and I was sitting there, and it's, part of me thought, I didn't spend enough time, like, I guess maybe, like, really soaking in, like realizing like the limit of the time that we have there. Mm-hmm. But that's also the beauty of being here for so long, is like we were able to just go down there and enjoy it, like to not only take it for granted, but like just live in the moment, knowing that you didn't have a limited amount of time. Mm-hmm. Knowing that you could do it whenever you wanted felt so good. I've never experienced that with the beach. Yeah. So for me, that was, I think, just the best part was just knowing that I had sort of unlimited access to the beach, more or less.
Also watching both of us fall off of our paddle boards.
Yeah, that was
there were some wipeouts.
for sure.
And I wiped out right next to a guy that we did not know,
Nope.
and he saw the whole thing. But then he wiped out next to you.
I was about to say, then we kind of got our comeuppance on that because he ended up paddling right into me.
I was surprised you didn't fall.
I know.
It was like he fell on top of you.
Yeah, he
almost.
literally, his board went right into mine, and he fell backwards, and for once I actually stayed on my legs, but I fell several times. I think I fell more than anyone else.
It was really fun though. I would do that again. Like I want to do it again. We took a like paddleboarding lesson, and she taught us like the basics, and then she kind of just put us in the water and was like, go. Yeah. A couple of things that I wanted to do that I didn't do while we were down here, I guess, is I wanted to go on a dolphin tour.
Yes.
I didn't. It's my own fault because I really had the time, but I didn't want to go without you.
I understand that.
And I felt like I can do that, at a later date. It's not like my dream or anything.
Oh yes, the Ferris Wheel at the wharf. We only went to the wharf once, which is kind of sad. When we went, there was a car show. That was pretty cool.
We accidentally went to a car show. It was pretty cool.
No, we saw a DeLorean. I liked the DeLorean. I saw a DeLorean.
Cool. We got ice cream.
I pointed at that. We got ice cream.
We did the axe throwing.
We had a lot of fun axe throwing.
Mm-hmm. Very bad at it. I want to go again though. Yeah, you did win.
That's the one thing. Like usually, she's really good at sports. I won the axe throwing.
Yeah, because you're more precise with your little.
Well, I'd done it before. It was your first time. I think had you spent as much time, had it been your second time, you would have held your own because by the end of it, our scores were really, really close, and like it was.
I just couldn't. Beat you.
Yeah, you just need a little more time.
We did look at Foley. We've looked at Robertsdale, and we actually found a house in Robertsdale that we had considered. Like, I guess I don't know.
I got real excited.
We were gonna maybe get it, but then we were talking to a lender, and they were like, "This is the interest rate. This is your payment, and this is the insurance." And we were just like, No, because currently we don't have a house payment. We don't have a house payment.
Right.
And
we are lucky.
It's really nice. And to go from paying nothing to paying over $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
And, it's just not feasible.
Well,
it is, but it's like we wouldn't be able to travel to the extent that we do right now.
Yeah, and it was more than just the payment per month. It was that because of the interest rate, we were paying so much more, like over the life of the mortgage. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're going to pay more, obviously, it's a mortgage, but like we were paying well over double, well over. It was a high interest rate. Mm-hmm. And I think that's just the way the rates are right now. So, we thought, why not take some time, build some credit, build some money.
Build some money.
Yeah.
Build some money.
And also,
I like that.
Yeah, build some. Just build the money.
Build up our money
just
supply.
Build it. Yeah, just go get some money from the money tree.
Yeah.
But also
send me money.
Send us money. Send
Please.
Money me.
Please.
Me
money
money
me.
needing.
Need money. I mean, it does not make sense to be house poor when we already have a house that's paid for.
It's one of the things about this trip. We wanted to see what it was like to be here for that amount of time. Like, do we get bored of it? And I didn't get bored of it, but I will say I went to the beach a lot less than I thought I would throughout the course of this trip.
The new wore off.
The new wore off. When I got here, I was going to the beach before work, on my lunch break, after work, like during the working periods. And I was just always down there. 2 weeks in, I was, I'm skipping days here and there. 3 weeks in, I didn't feel like going on lunch. I didn't feel like doing it, and I could see if we lived in Robertsdale, which is where that house we found
40-ish minutes.
Yeah.
If that.
On a good day.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have, I'm going to get off work. I'm not going to the beach.
No.
You're going to sit in traffic for an hour and a half.
That's not the mood you want to be in when you get to the beach. So
no.
I think we had a lot of realizations about what expectation versus reality in terms of like, okay, well, if you live that far away, this is how you will experience it, versus when we come down here, we stay either in a condo on the beach or
right
maybe a few minutes from the beach. So I think it was a good way to figure out some, I guess, like, I don't know, logistics of coming here, because in my head it was a one way, and in reality it's been another way.
Yeah, I would say this trip was a success overall, because we did exactly what we wanted to. We got to experience what we wanted. We get to have a good time, but we also got to kind of feel what it was like to be down here for a while. Instead of paying, $2,000-$3,000 a month for a mortgage, save that money. Take a trip whenever we want to, because you could be at the beach, and that's kind of your vacation because you're paying to live there, and you're not gonna have as much for a vacation. So your vacation is driving an hour and a half through terrible traffic to go to a beach that's really overpopulated during the peak days.
It's not like we don't like Gulf Shores.
Oh, we love it.
Gulf Shores is awesome. There's endless things to do here. Like, the weather's great, the people are nice, but it's just in terms of like cost.
Yeah.
And that's what we heard from a lot of people. We told pretty much everyone who would come into contact with us that we're trying to move down here. We want to move down here. And they'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. I've been down here for a couple years. And we would kind of ask them about it. And they mostly said they liked living down here, but that they got sick of the traffic and that the cost was high.
Yeah. The biggest thing that stuck with me was, I remember we were at a place called Laria's, a local bar, and we said, yeah, we're just trying to figure out how to afford this. And they said, us too. And it wasn't just, it was the waitress, and then she looked over at this other local, and he was like, oh yeah, me too. How to afford living down here. People who live down here are also like, how do I afford this? I think, and I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck if I can avoid it. And this way we can, we can stay where we are. And then in a couple of months, we can go on a trip. We can take a short, like 3 or 4 day cruise.
Yeah.
We can,
we
3 or
need
4
some
months later,
suggestions, I feel like.
Beachy. Yeah. We, it's like, where else should we go? So we want to go, like, so far we've got Tokyo. I've got Tokyo.
You want to go to Hawaii?
Yeah. Hawaii. I love the idea
Even though
of that.
apparently
Never
it's
been there.
not politically correct to travel there anymore.
Oh, is it not?
People get mad that Hawaii is a tourist destination, even though I guess we're somehow ruining it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we do ruin everything.
Yeah, but that's humans.
Yeah.
That's not just tourists.
Greece. I've heard from a guy that I work with, Corfu is kind of nice. If anybody has been to Corfu, tell me about it. Is it cool? I've heard it was cool.
Anywhere tropical.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
We love cruises. We'll
We
probably
love
go on
cruises.
another cruise.
We
I
will.
hope before the end of the year.
I plan on making that happen.
Yeah, that'd be really fun.
She was right. Beach house. This is gonna get cut out, but you were absolutely right.
I won't cut that part.
Just me saying, y'all don't know about what? Absolutely right every time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let's talk about the best and worst food here, because I think we had overall positive experiences with food, but there was one place that, oh my gosh, this restaurant, I don't see how it stays in business. It is literally terrible.
Yeah.
So, should we name drop them?
We should. I wouldn't normally, I generally, if I have a somewhat bad experience, I'm like, that maybe it was a one-off.
Yeah,
but this
it was bad.
It was pretty bad, especially in contrast to everything else. So
and I know it's probably someone's favorite restaurant.
It might be. And if it is, I'm sorry that you don't have good tasting food. No, it's
Yeah, I'm sorry for them too.
Right. The Beach House Kitchen and Cocktails.
Right beside Waves.
Right
which
beside
is
Waves.
like a little convenience store.
Very close to where we're staying.
That's the thing. We walked over there thinking, oh, it's perfect. It's right by the condo. We'll just walk over and have dinner.
We were thinking this is going to be the place we go to have drinks, when we don't want to drive, because it's a very short walking distance.
And it was awful. I think we went on Cinco de
did.
Mayo.
We did.
Terrible. The service was fine, but it's just like the food was so bland. It was like almost inedible.
Yeah.
The drinks were very pricey, which we expect when you go to the beach that things are going to be
But they're not
$10 to $15 a drink.
Nothing special.
It was not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
You would be better served going to the Pink Pony and getting a drink there. Their drinks.
Even the Hangout.
And
those are not bad places.
No.
But they are touristy in terms of
Pink Pony's a dive bar.
Yeah.
But their drinks are way better in terms of taste, quality, and even presentation for me than what the Beach House was.
I would never go there again or recommend that to anyone. So shift gears to the better food, because this is
Yeah. So the worst restaurant, the Beach House next to Waves.
Don't go there.
Don't ever go there.
Or go there and
maybe you'll
have
like
a bad
it.
time. If you have just no.
Yeah. The best restaurant for me, I've got to go with I would say just like the best in terms of my experience, Laria's by the beach. And I've left reviews there. I've raved about this place to everyone that's come down or everyone I've talked to.
Yeah, it feels like more of a mom and pop restaurant.
Yeah.
And the food is wonderful. It's all Italian dishes. And of course they have like Bloody Marys. They have really good bushwhacker. And I think
best bushwhacker we've had.
We made our way through that menu. We have had a lot of the food from Laria's, so highly recommend. I think we've spent quite a bit of time there. Enough time for them to remember us.
Yeah,
so that's
they know
good.
when we come
That's
in.
good. They're like, they think we're locals. We're
It feels
blending
like we're
in.
locals.
Is there anything about this trip that surprised you, that you would think would be different, or that didn't go the way that you wanted it to? What do you think? Like, is there anything to end on?
You know, I really thought that I was going to go to the beach every single day. It maybe sounds stupid to believe that, but I thought I'm not going to ever get to the point where I'm like, no, I don't want to go to the beach. But there were days where I was just like, I'm tired.
Yeah, it wears you out.
Yeah,
and
I'm lazy.
It's active down here. You have to be active.
Yeah, and I've realized, like, it's such a culture shock for my sedentary lifestyle, which is a problem with me, and then so that's something I got to fix when I got back home too.
Yeah, we've got way more steps here.
Yeah,
we've been more active, and we've realized, okay, this is something positive that we can take back home.
Yeah,
just being a little bit more aware that, you know, we need to walk in between the day. Like, we don't, like, I feel like we both sit at our computers for like hours on end, and we don't get that like steps in between.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, it's been very clear that we could be more active. We
Yeah.
just have to try a little bit harder.
Working from home, you kind of lose sight of how many days it's been since you've gone out and done something. And because we went out and did something so many days in a row here, it really took a toll on me. And I noticed it, like, dramatically. So it's been an eye-opener in that way.
Yeah, and I don't feel like we really haven't watched a lot of TV down here, and we haven't spent as much time on our phones,
No.
and I think that's been a good habit.
Spend a lot less time playing games because it's more interesting to do the things that are around you. And I think that goes back to, you know, I just like going new places and doing new things. So I think that's what we want to do.
I think travel is in our future.
Yeah.
A lot more. And
I just want to be a world traveler.
yeah. Is that too much to ask?
Yeah. Someone pay me to just travel to new places all the time and do new things. I'll do it.
But after a month in Gulf Shores, I think I'm ready to come home.
Yeah.
You ready?
Oh, yeah. What's the thing you're most looking forward to about going home?
Sleeping in my own bed. Yeah, the bed here
bed's in.
is kind of soft.
It's an okay bed.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
And not having to take the dogs downstairs to let them out 3 to 4 times a day.
Oh, I know. Fenced in
on
backyard.
a leash, because we just unleash our dogs in the backyard usually. I do think I'm going to miss my tan. I got a little bit of a tan line going here.
I don't.
Yeah, you're
White as ever.
You white. I'm white, but you white.
I'm a little red, but I didn't get burned. So that's another thing. I did really well.
Yeah,
Didn't
because
get
we're
burned even
adults,
once.
and we brought sunscreen.
Yeah, and I'm scared of sunburns.
Yeah, we brought a lot, but we've used most of it, I will say.
Yeah.
So I feel like we conquered Gulf Shores
We absolutely
in
did.
a way that most people probably will never get to.
Yeah, we were massively successful. Not to, you know, I'm
Not
not
to
bragging on
brag.
myself, but yeah, we did a good job.
Yeah.
We had a heck of a trip.
We did a lot. Like, we did so much that we forgot it already, because
Yeah.
we were like, oh yeah, I remember that like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
we did
going
that
through
thing.
going through our photos, it's like, oh, that was the same trip that we did this.
Even if you don't get to live your dream a whole, you know, like your whole life, if we lived our dream for 1 month, that's still probably more than what most people are ever going to do.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a month of doing what we want to do, where we wanted to do it, experiencing the world, like how we saw fit. So I think it's an accomplishment.
I would rather live somewhere boring and have a dream trip once a year or however often I can afford it, because that's more exciting than trying to live here and not do fun things.
Yeah.
Not have the money to go out and, you know, experience what I want to experience.
And Alabama is it does have great features. Like,
Yeah.
it's a coastal area that we're in here, and people don't realize like how fun it can be. Like, people enjoy themselves like fishing and just being out in the water and doing the paddle boarding, the kayaking. Like, there's so much to see here and do. So if you ever get a chance, like, definitely spend some time near the Gulf Coast. It is an amazing way to, I guess, go on a vacation where you can be active, and then also you can rest. Like, you can go on the beach, but then you can also go paddleboarding. So I think we'll wrap it up here. I enjoyed looking over this trip with you, and I hope that we get to go on a lot more trips, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care.